Wardrobe changing.
Yeah, we have about 15 minutes to finish our drinks and to make road sodas.
And for me to put on nighttime attire.
Is it road sodas or do we just call it road alcohol?
It's just roadies.
Roadies. Okay. Yeah. Alcohol that we'll bring with us. Cause what are we doing? What are we doing?
We are going to see in IMAX, mind you.
IMAX 3D.
That's right.
3D. 3D. Yeah, I
don't know why I have to need to echo that. It just sounded cooler.
Like anyone that hasn't seen the thumbnail for the episode or read the title of the episode, anyone that could just be listening from the notification that a new episode is hitting the stream, and that just jumps in to listen, we can draw this out. We can make this dramatic.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, but
you know about me, I'm all about the drama.
Yeah, let's just talk about what movie.
So The Mummy with Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, and I haven't memorized anybody else's name, so it's
and you're kind of coming in a little bit fresh with this, right?
Oh yeah, because I'm a big fan of the Mummy trilogy with Brendan Fraser, and it's the interview with Tom Cruise and him saying what Universal's looking to do with all the classic horror movies and the big budget films that they want to make.
Yeah.
And what they're putting into this.
And that's exciting to you.
Yeah. And that's just like, because there's been, you have Benicio del Toro did the Wolfman remake. Now you have the Mummy remake. You've got Dracula Untold, which is a great story, but it's not the traditional Dracula movie.
So here's the thing. So Dracula Untold was originally supposed to have been what the Mummy is now. So the Mummy is like chapter 1 of what they're calling the Dark Universe.
Yeah.
So I guess for whatever reason, I'm sure some of it was financial. They scrapped Dracula Untold. They said it's not a part of this.
Yeah.
They took it off the table, and they kind of did the same with Wolfman.
Yeah,
but they've already announced Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man.
Really?
Yeah. You may not know, but Russell Crowe is someone.
Well, he's someone in the Mummy, so I'm not surprised that they try to tie him into somebody else.
Yeah, so you'll have to watch the movie and see what that reveal is.
Yeah.
Okay. Javier Bardem, from Spectre.
Yep.
Not Spectre. Skyfall. The villain from Skyfall.
Oh,
Beautiful, No Country for Old Men.
Yep.
He's Frankenstein's monster.
Interesting.
Yeah. And now...
That's an interesting pick.
Yeah. And now Tom Cruise is a part of that. So...
And that's my question that I had. So when he referenced the Universal and his buy-in, he didn't allude to, and I didn't look up the article yet, which I really wanted to do, but I just haven't had time this week.
Mark's a busy guy.
Yeah, that and the illness.
Yeah, you and John. So John goes to, real quick, John goes to visit my father, like on Wednesday or Tuesday of this past week. And they're like hanging out, and he's like texting me, sending me like a couple pictures. Like, just like hanging out with
what's going on?
Hanging out with my dad. He left and got a fever. Like almost as soon as he left. Had to go to like urgent care.
The DeLucas tend to do that to people.
Yeah, he ended up with pneumonia.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
got pneumonia now. Okay, you did the same exact thing. You were like,
and within 36 hours, back to normal.
Yeah, you were kind of like fine. We were texting like last Sunday. You were fine.
I was killing it.
And then you were like
Monday morning at 2 a.m.
Got sick. And then you relatively like worked through the fever though. John kept. Like 2 days went by and he still had a fever.
Damn.
And I'm like, yo, dude, you got it. And we were back and forth about like him going back to like the ER. One of his relatives works like in the ER. So I think he could, I don't know, like got quicker service. I don't even know how that's even possible. I don't know how you still don't wait. Like even if you know someone, how you just don't sit in that room until you're like dead.
I'll tell you, the only thing I can speak on that is my only experience going to the ER, well, my last experience I should say, was because of the fact that my best friend's now wife's mother, I could hear in the background screaming, "He's got to go to the fucking hospital! Go to the fucking hospital!" Like I hear in the background of the phone when I'm on the phone with my buddy's wife, now wife, and I'm like, and she knows me since 8th grade because they've been dating since middle school.
Yeah,
and I'm asking her questions because I'm having chest pains. And it's clearly over my heart.
Yeah.
So I know enough about anatomy to know where my heart is and where heart pains are. And she's like, I hear her mom screaming in the background. So I drove myself to St. Mary's, told him those heart problems. I went right back. and the rest of the story we've talked about before. So
So
it was just that's the last time I remember. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why he waited got bad service in the ER.
Yeah,
with family in the same ER.
Well, yeah, with the family. Yeah, and real quick too, we are drinking cheap tequila,
which is not very highly recommended, but we're doing it anyway.
And we're doing cheap tequila and Red Bulls as a pre-gamer to see Tom Cruise
in The Mummy.
Remake. Chapter 1
yes.
of the Dark Universe.
Yep.
The first of many movies to come.
That's right. Universal has signed off on, I think, 5 at least, right?
5 with potentially
2
like
more
spin-offs
Yeah.
that aren't connected to the larger picture,
Yeah.
I guess. But a lot of that is up in the air because of the success of the Mummy.
Yeah.
But in my worldwide, it's already making money.
So what do you, so as big of an entity that Universal is now, what's the minimum financial gain from this picture to be the barometer of successful or not successful?
Well, like
a billion international.
Well, yeah, I mean,
$500 million,
it doesn't.
billion,
it's really weird how they look at it. Hollywood has weird accounting practices.
Mm-hmm.
Like the golden goose is lots of money, lots of praise.
Yeah. Awards, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and well, not
on top of the money.
Yeah, but to do well domestically and foreign.
Yeah.
And now we have like a movie like a good example would be like Warcraft. Warcraft that came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Completely tanked in the US.
Yeah.
Okay. It was directed by David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Big budget, lots of special effects, tanks in the US, but makes a ton of money in China. Like makes back, like if those were American figures or domestic figures, it would have been like a huge success.
Yeah.
And there was no announcement to continue the Warcraft movie.
Wow.
Okay. Oh wait, not World. Is it no World? Wow, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Yeah. World of.
I knew the movie you were talking about.
It's like the big green Shrek ogre guy.
It was the video game that turned into a movie, which people were like, I don't know how they're making this a movie.
Nobody understands me.
Yeah.
Like that's all I know that he says in the trailer. Yeah, like we have to fight if we want our freedom. Yeah, that's all. Maybe I'm wrong.
So what about
Fast
and Fate of the Furious as a barometer? Because
it gets everything. People love it. Fans love it.
It's international.
Awesome domestic.
It's over. What are they? Almost 1.5 billion.
Yeah, that was the quickest. The number 8 Fate of the Furious was the quickest to 1 billion ever.
Yeah,
quickest to 1
in
billion.
any movie, like any movie.
Yeah. So this movie is already making money overseas. It went up against Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman's second week, so it took a major hit. It came in like kind of like what I was thinking. Came in like 30 million. Which I thought was like kind of decent for a movie that kind of confused people because no one kind of was understanding why Tom Cruise would be in a Mummy movie to begin with.
Yeah,
and the bigger picture like wasn't carrying over.
Well, and also people forget why white people, as far as Ludacris is concerned, because this is in a rap song. White people write some big ass effing checks. His words in his own rap song that probably made himself some more money from some more white people. Yeah. Yours included, who's listened to him since 10th grade.
Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. We're going to go. You need to gear up. We're going to jump and see the movie.
Yep.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to drink.
As usual.
Drink some alcohol. We're going to come back here.
We are?
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to come back here, not come back here. And so this is Dream Warriors. Do you know what episode you're on? You don't know what episode, do you?
I want to say 5, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Oh, you mean as many times as you appear? No. Do you know the episode number?
No.
It's 40. This is Dream Warriors 40.
Wow.
Yeah, right now. So let's hit the music.
All right.
And let's rock and roll. Sounds good.
We're the Dream Warriors. We won't dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors. And maybe tonight you'll be gone.
We're back. Let's get the volume up a little bit. Volume up. Get the volume up. Good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Check one. Check one. Check.
Are you saying check or check?
Check.
Check.
Yeah, no checks for us.
Not today.
Yeah, not that we were trying. We were just we did 2 long walks around the city since our intro recording.
Oh yeah.
And it's been
actually no 3. Because we walked back from the theater last night.
Yeah, we were just like, well, that's kind of what I meant. Yeah, so that would be
like
I
think one today. I think one being going under the gym and then walking around and walking back. And
no, just like we kind of, we walked around a lot of Philly. We, so now it's, when we started the this recording, it was Friday night, and now it's 3:30 on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So in the meantime, we went to the theater, saw the Mummy, just decided to walk home. Like from
we didn't decide. You decided.
Yeah. Well, I was like, let's just walk to South Street and see what's happening, and then South Street was just a complete disaster.
Yeah. Epic proportion.
And then we were like hungry. We found like a diner.
Yeah.
One of my Instagram girls was our waitress.
Yep.
Just completely random.
And we were both trying to we weren't trying, but it was just, I gave such awkward responses every time she came to the table. It was like, and then you were trying to talk, she's like, I don't think I can figure these guys out.
I just was like, I was just talking to you mostly, and I'm like, I'm not even paying attention. Like, But the
hostess was filming when we went back up. It was hysterical because she's.
Oh, well, so yeah, so
it was so funny.
What did the hostess say?
It was all, who was it? Oh, he's not even waiting for you. I was like, no, you can't even find a good boyfriend nowadays. She started like cracking up. Oh. I'm like, pay for his coffee and he came and wait for me.
Yeah. Thank you for that too, by the way. Yeah, and then
I'm messing with you.
Then we bought like pints of ice cream. We bought Ben and Jerry's on the way home, which is kind of like a tradition now of drinking.
Yeah.
Like we
even though we
go out,
we didn't drink that much.
No, but we both got hit during the movie.
Yeah.
What? And
I was more on the way there. Yeah. In the beginning and then halfway through. And then I finally broke the seal and came back, I was kind of good.
Yeah, and I kind of held mine off a little bit, and I was kind of like getting hit towards the end of the movie, which is good, because like now, like I followed the build up to whatever emotions I had at the end of the movie. Like, and at that point, they're just like, the movie is like telling you how to feel. Yeah. And then you're like more receptive because there's like alcohol in your system. And you're like, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it. I can explain how we got here. I'm feeling it. And then we came back here. We watched Mission Impossible 2.
Yes, because of the Tom Cruise affiliation.
The Tom Cruise, not only the Tom Cruise affiliation, but you and I are huge fans of rock climbing. And we needed to see Tom Cruise climbing a giant rock mountain. Doing
in the Hopi Mason.
Yeah, and then we kind of just like went to sleep.
Yeah,
and we woke up and we found our way to the So I woke up around 7. You woke up like 9:30. You woke up late.
I woke up once and went back to sleep.
Yeah, you were
for like another hour or two.
Yeah, I was up for like a while. I'm doing all these things. I'm like, just watching you sleep, standing over you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which I kind of figured has happened before.
Just drizzling maple syrup on you while you're sleeping.
So my hair was all sticky?
Yeah. All your hair. And
that's why I had to get it cut.
Yeah. and then so we did that. We woke up, got our shit together, went to the gym, worked out. Then we're like, we gotta eat. So we decided just to walk, and we went to this falafel hummus place, and we got kind of like Chipotle style hummus bowls with shawarma and ate that, hit the barbershop. I had to go pick up something for Bad Eats tonight because we're doing a Transformers episode.
Yeah.
And two Transformer episodes. And and you had to pick up things for Father's Day.
Yeah.
And then we kind of cycled back here, got stuck in the rain right? Got
Which kind of felt good though, because it's muggy and balmy,
Yeah.
and we were still post gym. Like,
dude, man,
I haven't showered since yesterday morning.
Yeah, well, trust me, you wouldn't know because it smells like you haven't showered in 3 weeks, not just one day. Like, even Dallas doesn't even want to be around you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Dallas is like, I kind of roll around in my own shit for shits and giggles, just for the hell of it.
But I'm a cat.
I'm not even going near Mark.
That's the plan, because I don't like cats.
I don't know why. He's a good cat. I think he is.
Because he's crazy about cats. Because when I try to actually get used to petting him and stuff, he'd start freaking the hell out and
that's because you
trying to face
That's because
me.
you come at him with a awkward energy, and they know it. You know, like, you have to meet them on good terms, and that's like they'll want to be friends with you. If you're
dogs are simpler. So.
Nah, dogs are kind of like the same way.
I don't have to psychoanalyze a dog.
Yeah.
To pet it.
Yeah.
They just want to be pet. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's talk
back to the movie.
So let's talk about the movie. What's your first impression? What's your takeaway from the Tom Cruise, The Mummy?
I was epically impressed. It did not disappoint in any way, between the storyline, between the explanation, between the plot twist, between the ending with him and all that stuff. I think Universal put themselves in a great position to spin off with some other ones that we've heard about, other ones that we might not know about. Russell Crowe, also another awesome performance in the movie. I was thoroughly impressed and glad I saw it.
So, and when what would you say to a lot of the reviewers that have, kind of like everyone pretty much gave this movie negative reviews? What do you think they're missing?
First I want
what's the disconnect?
Yeah, I'm going to say, what didn't you like about the movie? What is it about the movie that you didn't like? Because I'm missing the connector where I'd like to see what these same reviewers said about the Brendan Fraser movies. Because if they said, oh, these were awesome, action-packed comedies.
No, because everyone's like, those were funny and they didn't take themselves seriously, and they got
so far into an Egyptian culture and myth that they explained everything.
Yeah, and then it's like, then they had good special effects, and they kind of brush it off. And then they're like, those ones got worse as they went along. Meaning, second one's worse than
the third one was
the third one. Yeah, and actually, I was watching the third one yesterday.
Yeah,
and dude, I completely forgot that the son is the dude digging things up. Yeah. Like, the son is the one that kickstarts the adventure.
Yep.
And the
parents are just trying to save him.
The parents are just kind of trying to keep up with the son.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, that's kind of cool, because those three movies are kind of like, the kid grows up.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a kid.
Well, he's non-existent in the first one.
Yeah.
They meet.
Right.
He's a young kid in the second one.
Yeah.
In the third one, he's an adult. So the timeline is proportionate.
It's just cool.
Minus they didn't keep what's-her-face on for the third one.
Yeah, which is like,
kind of annoying. But.
Yeah. And then for this one, so here's what everyone said. Everyone said that the movie was tonally wrong, that it was inconsistent, and look, I'm saying everyone. Obviously, I don't mean everyone but us.
Yeah.
I don't even mean every reviewer said these things. Yeah. I mean the majority.
Yeah.
Okay? Because,
the general consensus was.
Right. Okay? The collective.
Yeah.
They said that the tone was off because they had 4 screenwriters and whatever. So I think the movie did have 4 screenwriters. 3 of the 4 screenwriters are like 3 of Hollywood's best ever. Okay. Like Ralph McQuarrie, he's the guy. Ralph McQuarrie, he's the one that wrote Usual Suspects.
Oh yeah.
David Keough is the guy that helped Steven Spielberg work on Jurassic Park. He's worked on.
Great.
He's one of like Spielberg's disciples. Worked on Spider-Man. Like, David Keough is probably like in your top 5 to top 5, like your lower top 5, like 4 or 5, and I'm just kind of just talking about my belt here.
Yeah.
Or he's lower top 10, like most successful screenwriters in Hollywood history.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but even just he's on the list. The guy's on the list.
And Ralph McQuarrie was recruited by Tom Cruise to continuing the Mission Impossible franchise.
Yeah.
So he's the one that did like the latest one that was like a huge success. So the
a lot of talent behind this movie.
Yeah, so people were like, well, it's this. And then they also said that Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in the movie. Like, he's just Tom Cruise. People saw that as a negative. People saw it not being scary or having horror elements as being negative. People said there was too much exposition in the movie, explaining like the history, too much of that. Meaning you get the beginning, you get what's this, Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Not Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe? Yeah. The gladiator guy.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained? I just want him to yell that in every movie.
Is this not why you were here?
Yeah. Are you not entertained? Like, shut up and your shitty Robin Hood movie and sit down. You were in
Go
that,
drink some mead.
You can't Kevin Costner in the Robin Hood role. It is over for you, sir. But anyway, but no, and
but we digress.
So you had like 3 levels, kind of like 3 expositions throughout the movie that all said the same thing. I thought it was just weaved within the story. I kind of liked that. Like, people said that the action sequences weren't that great. People said that they gave away everything in the trailers. This movie seemed to have confused a lot of people. But when I was watching this movie, I was watching it kind of like through the lens of if I really didn't know anything about the film.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching it, trying to figure out like what's happening next and where are the characters going, like keeping that in mind. And then the other thing that I was mindful of, which is always fun to kind of have present, is how are they going to stop the villain?
Yeah.
Because like even with her, they cranked her up.
Yeah.
Like, she was like this, like,
pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, they were like, she was just like this crazy force of nature. I thought the creature design for this movie was good.
Yeah.
I thought that I like her.
I like the villain development where she can basically, from the first one when he was regenerating, he could only regenerate from the guys that stole from the tomb.
Yeah.
He couldn't. I mean, he could go after somebody else, but he needed those guys to regenerate first,
right?
And then he had his power back. I'm like, well,
yeah.
I mean, you're a mummy. You can just take anybody. So what's the difference?
Even
so how did those get not specific, but this one did? I'm like, I don't get that.
And even in like the Brendan Fraser one, it was like that. It took too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's on the train sucking out like the Texas guy's soul and like doing this, and he's just taking forever. Yeah. And in this one, it's relatively quick.
It flowed. He finds the tomb. I mean, like I watched this preview a plethora of times, so I saw it a bunch of times. So you see the plane thing, the part of the plane scene, with the birds and stuff. You saw the quick shot of the thing in the ground blowing up, it collapsing and being like a sinkhole.
And
you saw some other stuff, but you didn't see all of the intricacies of like, okay, what was that about? How did it happen? Why were they even there? Like, you have no idea Tom Cruise and this dude are like military contract treasure hunters. Yeah. You have no idea.
And you know what? That was like a cool little twist.
Yeah. There's so many cool twists that
one part that I really liked about the movie that, look, we were talking about a little bit this last night. I don't know him. We all know him. But Tom Cruise comes off to me as a very principled person. Yeah. Like, he's someone with conviction. Yeah. And there's a lot of conviction in his stories. Because, he essentially, runs these productions. Yeah. All these story guys that are around the movie are all, his pick people. The Dark Universe is kind of like a giant Tom Cruise project. Yeah. Okay? And he puts things in his movies that he... I don't know, kind of slides underneath the door. And I love it. And the one thing that stood out in this movie was when they had essentially ISIS destroying the temple. When they were shooting up the temple. Yeah. The relics of the temple. Yeah. Now, this hardly ever hits the news. It doesn't hit, I hate to say, it doesn't hit the fake news mainstream media. Yeah. Okay? It doesn't hit... Because ISIS has destroy temples that are up to 5,000 and 7,000 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, they are on a
tear,
like a pilgrimage to erase something from the earth, all traces of like what they feel is like a threat. Okay, anything that they don't like, they want to erase. These are also the people that will throw a gay right off of a building and shoot a little girl for wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, if ISIS is in your town and if you're a girl and you want to be able to read, you are shot dead. Okay, these are the things we do not hear.
Yeah.
Not even on like
talk shows that talk about political,
right.
issues.
It's really tough. It's and it's tough things to hear, and like it's not
casual dinner talk.
Yeah, it's not. It's also not the job of the news station to educate you on things you should know.
Yeah.
It is up to you to educate yourself.
Yeah.
So it's hard to blame the news networks, but you know what? I blame them. Yeah. Like they're
it's hard to blame them. Like, yep, I still blame them.
Yeah, like they're still in the position. Like they're still there. They can still wield power. So.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like the whole sequence of the discovery
and how he brings that in,
tomb.
like the detail of that.
Yeah, I like that they had her like her transformation. So in the flashback, she's like a lot like the Brandon Fraser mummy. She's like golden and beautiful type thing.
Yeah.
Okay. She kills like the same people, right? Like in the other one, they killed the emperor and her and the one guy she was banging.
She kills
so
she was chosen by the pharaoh, and she was his chosen wife, and then she's having an affair with his high priest Imhotep, who becomes the mummy. So she's not the mummy in the movie.
Yes. Oh, right.
So this goes more actual off of if we had to make an argument and actually had to look it up, this would be more of a historical story that was based off of information, whereas that one was more of like a soap opera.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
Yeah. And
I'm sleeping with the butler, someone to kill the owner of the plantation.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
And then somebody with voodoo skills brings me back. Like, that's
voodoo skills.
Like,
it's been a while since there's been like a big budget voodoo movie. Marvel. So
well, you know which one it is? It's Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. One of the counterparts, or I would say, like, kind of like they call the Punisher, Daredevil, this guy named Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider, like Elektra. They call that group like Marvel Knights, but it's KNIGHTS, meaning that they're like Marvel street level villains.
Okay.
Like that, meaning like their power doesn't bring them above buildings, so they're street level.
Yeah.
They fight in alleys. They fight in dark places.
Not invincible. Like get hurt, have to recover. Like
So Marvel has like sects like that. So some of the other characters that are Marvel street level are some of the would be like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, like a lot of the Netflix shows. Yeah. Okay. Which is and then like they kind of have their superheroes, right? So we have Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Like that's almost like New York.
Yeah.
These are the people around skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have like Marvel Cosmic. So it would be like, for just sake of moving on, like Guardians of the Galaxy. You have the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
Galactus, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, so on and so forth. That's Marvel Cosmic. And then you have like Marvel Mystic. And the Marvel Mystic is Doctor Strange. And one of his like contemporaries in this is this black dude named Brother Voodoo, who is a voodoo Doctor Strange. Wow. And like, how fucking cool. Like, just talking about it now, I'm like, you know what, dude? Like, put that guy in the Black Panther movie. Just put in like another black superhero. I finally
watched Doctor Strange.
Oh, what did you think?
I actually really liked it.
Yeah,
really liked it. So when you say his voodoo contemporary, so does that turn into be? Well, they lead to the next movie, which is his one of the guys that was part of one of his teachers.
Yeah,
learning that she was stealing dark energy to keep herself alive and immortal. Until
and then at the very end of the movie,
they show him going to the other guy and stealing his ability to keep his spine in order.
Right. Yeah. So
Like,
Okay.
she basically steals his power because he's using his power for himself and not for them. Like,
Yeah.
to keep his spine straight, I'm like, dude, have a little sympathy for the guy, man.
So it's amazing that they brought that character to the mainstream. It's amazing that you even know what the hell a Doctor Strange is.
yeah.
Doctor Strange, even for me, like growing up, was still like a far from center character. He never had a popular anything.
Yep.
Anything worth reading of his was like mid 60s or mid 70s, and that was it. And Marvel, even now, is continuously trying to recreate his like original run success.
Yeah.
Like they're still like chipping away at it. They're trying.
But
to
I'll tell you,
figure it
I
out.
think they picked the best guy to play him.
Yeah, he looks the role. He just has
He has the
the
mannerisms.
look.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks like he's a sorcerer supreme. So
Yeah.
So the so like, and that movie very well explained like how the sorcerer supreme is like almost like the gatekeeper of this type of like realm
Yep.
existence, this type of fight, and it all links to like Thor, which I think is like pretty cool in the new Thor movie. It seems like that they're going like pretty cosmic with the new Thor movie.
Yeah.
Like they're going a little bit more like
Outside the realm of what you ever knew anything about. Like,
I just
you saw some of it with the Nova Corps, with Guardians of the Galaxy. You saw some of that. But, like, this is, the new Thor looks like it's tying in a lot of elements that they never really explained. You never saw. You never knew about.
It's exciting when people say that these movies are boring and repetitive. I'm not really sure
What they mean by that.
like what the gauge is or how they're rating that, or if they're just being crybabies. I will side with them being crybabies. Yeah. So other things I liked about the Mummy. Okay. Is so going into this, I kind of did on one of my solo shows. I kind of just talked about how I think the approach for this movie on how people were sitting down to watch it and what their frame of mind were was they were like already predetermined to dislike this movie.
Yeah.
And no one was sitting down and looking at this movie as like a chapter one. Okay, like this is a
Like, big picture.
this is a start of like we're going to go through chapters and reveal like a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of people made fun that Tom Cruise ends up in mummy garb at the end of the movie, but to me that was like fine. It was like kind of mummy, but it wasn't really. He was dressed up like a mummy.
You're in the desert. I mean, you're in the desert. You keep covered up. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's the old schoolhouse riddle. Like, if you're stuck in the desert, what would you take? Would you take a gallon of water or a sheet?
Yeah.
Or
It's just
whatever. And then you say, when you realize that, or it's like a big coat, like a huge coat that can unwrap itself into like a tarp. A gallon of water or something else, and it's like you come to find out the answer is the coat, because no one thinks about the fact that it's 40 degrees colder in the shade.
Yeah.
And then at night the temperature drops drastically to really cold temperatures.
Yeah, people don't realize
and
that.
when you're kids, you don't know anything about that crap.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'll take the water and it's hot.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So why isn't everyone in bikinis when you're in the deep desert?
Yeah.
Like,
why are these guys in multicolored robes on camels? I'm like, there's got to be something to this. So like that would even... The thought that they'd even make that out of a comic means you're obviously an idiot. You don't understand the desert
I think
works.
you and I thought that the ending shot with him riding the black horse with the storm behind him
was pretty badass.
I thought that was awesome. So,
or as we call it, bass.
So the other target criticism was like his friend.
Yeah.
You know how his friend was talking to him?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that was set up. Like the guy was cursed. He was possessed. The mummy female, the hot chick, we'll just call her Hottie Patati. The Hottie Patati.
Hottie.
Dude, she was hot, man.
She was.
Okay. And
she was hot even in the Kingsman movie. She was hot.
Yeah.
With steel feet.
And she was even playing mind tricks and controlling the mind of Tom Cruise, and you didn't know it was a little bit like psychological thriller at points, especially when he drives away.
Yeah, and they drive right back to her.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I'm like, fuck. I was like, she is.
I was like, wow, this is already getting kind of deep.
I was like, quick. She is in his head.
He said, she's not in my head. He's like, I think she's in my head.
And so I thought that was set up well. I thought that was used well.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, that is stupid because they're ripping off American Werewolf in London. and that is a part of that movie too, where the guy's best friend was killed by a werewolf.
Yep.
His other friend is bitten by a werewolf.
So no, he is the werewolf.
Right. Yeah. Right.
His one friend gets away.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He gets bitten, and his other buddy gets killed.
Correct.
And
yeah.
when he comes to, and he's moving around and trying to.
So
figure out what's
people
going
were
on.
like, "You can only do that in one movie ever."
Yeah.
Okay. So they were upset about that.
I feel like they did something similar in what was it called? Unbreakable. You didn't find out to the end the guy was actually a ghost. Oh well, because he's a ghost.
Well,
it's okay.
no, but you know what? Not
Or
even
Unbreak-
that.
Six
Not
Sense
even
of
that. I'm
Man,
sure if you and I put our heads together, we could make a whole list of movies that the same thing happens in.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's again no consistency. Like
Yeah.
one's a negative, one's a positive. Picking and choosing, no
Rhyme or
consistency.
reason, yeah.
Whatever. Okay. I don't care.
Just
if
a blind dick thrusting in space.
Yeah.
No. Trying to find pay dirt. But dude, there's nothing about this movie that disappointed. Even if you weren't a fan, even if you were a fan of the Brendan Fraser movies, whether you were or you weren't.
Yeah.
In either way, if you had any idea what's going on, and the only idea I had before you even told me, was I watched one 2 or 3 minute clip where Tom Cruise is getting interviewed by Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And he goes into this like for a hot second that Universal approached him. It's this whole big budget project. They're going to make multiple movies. It's going to all get tied together. And I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea. All I was is watching the previews on television.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
and it already looked cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more into this.
Yeah, so, and you didn't know anything about the Dr. Jekyll reveal
No,
at
nothing.
all. Yeah, so
Not at all.
you came into this like as a pure audience member, just wanting to drink lots of alcohol with your good buddy, go see a movie, go drink some more alcohol, stumble home, and just call it a night.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like the issues that people had with this movie, it's a lot of the same. Yeah, and this is a movie coming out a few days from now. Transformers, where people are already going to see the new Transformers movie with a opinion already formed.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this adds nothing to like a relative intelligent conversation and relative, and I'm not saying like I mean intelligent as almost like honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be Hollywood. Stop trying to give an opinion that like you sound like you're being articulate and coming up with some really cool facts as to why that these people, no one should like the movie.
Yeah.
And like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Dude? It's a movie.
Right. Like, dude, we came back, we were watching Mission Impossible 2 as if it was like the first time we ever saw that movie.
Yeah.
And we were just watching
I
MI2
forgot. I was so enthralled with how young, what's his face? Like Anthony Hopkins. I'm like, dude, he looks like 50.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like 130.
I know.
Oh my gosh. He only has 2 wrinkles on his forehead.
Yeah, how's he?
And they haven't met yet.
He's still going, man.
That dude is still with us.
Yeah.
I live in a time where Anthony Hopkins played an IMF manager of sorts, to Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, here's...
He rang Tom Cruise.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. We're going to have a Anthony Hopkins that will...
Be dead soon?
He will be making the movie, he will die during the production of the movie, and then there'll be about, like, 5 or 6 movies that he filmed before he died, and they'll find a way to finish the one that he was like in while he died.
Yeah.
And we'll have like probably another like year and a half of Anthony Hopkins movies. Same with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Like after the 2 of them die. I think if Anthony Hopkins stopped making movies like right now, he would probably be dead in like a week.
What's the last movie he's made?
He's in Transformers.
Oh yeah,
he's in The Last Night.
Duh, that's right.
He's in all the narrations.
Well, what about before that though? What's the last one he's done that's already out? I mean, that's not technically out yet.
Well,
so.
he's technically like as a bigger movies, he's Odin and Thor.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
wow, yeah.
He's
still kicking.
He's going,
Dude.
man. Yeah.
Because you know nowadays these guys get residuals for all these freaking movies. Like the contracts aren't what they used to be for actors.
Well, dude, like when they were like, "Hey, Anthony, you want to do Transformers and you want to go in Thor?" He's probably like, "You know what? My children's need to be taken care of." Like he's like
cars.
5 generations down. Like people that aren't even born yet. He's like, "Let's have a revenue stream for them."
Yeah.
Like which is amazing.
I have great grandchildren that need to go to college in Yale in 30 years.
Yeah, I have great grandchildren that need to visit the moon.
Yeah.
So excuse me.
They need to be able to colonize Mars with the rest of us.
Yeah. So excuse me if I want to be in a giant franchise and give my family endless money. Excuse me. It's like, okay.
All right, Sir Hopkins.
So you guys are dicks, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. But yeah, so we had a great time watching this movie.
Yeah,
right?
definitely a good
A lot
time.
of talking. We were a little loud a couple of times.
Yeah.
We were a little loud.
That's all right.
Didn't even care.
Kind of our thing.
Yeah. I liked the idea that they linked it to kind of like something similar to the Crusade Knights and Knights Templar, and
Yeah.
it actually had the movie had 3 focal locations, Egypt being one of them,
Yeah.
Iraq, and then
London.
London, yeah, which was very interesting, very cool. I liked the creature design. I thought the like her being able to like rise the dead and be a hive queen and control the dead. The other thing that I liked was that they didn't kill her at the end. Like he
Yeah.
zapped her, made her like into like like a shriveled
Well, he
raisin.
undid her demummification and mummified her again, essentially. So
Yeah.
he had basically recursed her
Yeah,
into the tomb.
and then they had to reseal the tomb with mercury because like there was still like still the potential power.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, you know what, too, like there's going to be in one of these movies someone's going to just like break her out, and she'll return, and then you'll have like Tom Cruise, good guy with that power. And then you'll have her with like bad girl with that power.
So this is my question, and this is the one thing that is hard for me to grasp my head around. What was the difference between him stabbing himself and her stabbing him? If the end result was him just being stabbed, so him being stabbed, brought forth
I think
Set.
it's because she like basically was the Dark One with the Alliance. It would be like. The dark
she had to make the offering,
right?
Because she didn't make the offering, he still had some control.
Correct. Yeah, and then him doing it self-inflicted brought in like the goodness in him that they teased throughout the movie.
Yeah, they alluded to it. Yeah,
like maybe that part could have been better. I think the 2 major faults was that he didn't come off as being like in struggle. Like he wasn't struggling between these 2 sides of his like personality. Now the other movies that are Tom Cruise movies that have done this would be like Maverick, who battled between light and darkness. His character in The Last Samurai battled between light and darkness. Minority Report, light and darkness. I think the best one, because he comes off as a POS from the first frame, is War of the Worlds. Where like he can't take care of his kids, he doesn't even have a dinner table. He has like the transmission on the dinner table. Like he's like skipping payments and he just can't get his life together.
But he's like a badass.
And Edge of Tomorrow, where he is the cowardly PR guy who has
to man up to save the world.
Okay, so this is something this is a character type that Tom Cruise is good with developing. Now, I don't think it came off that well in this. That's the one big hit. Okay? I don't think it takes you out of the movie because the movie has, like, humorous moments and it has good jabs and like, like, it's self-reflective kind of, like, along the same way. Like, they kind of know they're in, like, a mummy movie, which I thought was, like, funny. The other part is that I think the other piece is that I don't think it has any standout, like, action moments outside like the airplane. You had like the underwater like the underwater sequence, and then you had like the sandstorm, which was kind of
you had the car chase. You had the car chase with the stuff, and then had
like, to me, none of that really like stood out because it is like we saw a similar sequence in Mission Impossible. We saw the sandstorm sequence in the previous Mummy. And actually, recently as another Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
we
saw it in
Dubai. And we kind of saw it in Fast and Furious too, right? With the sandstorm. Okay, so the underwater stuff was actually like probably like the stronger one. I think so. Like, I don't really, but I do like how it wrapped up.
Yeah.
That it was kind of just the two of them in kind of like a dark sewer.
Yeah.
Like the two of them.
Or they were the Knights Templar.
Yeah, like
tour.
dark and underground, and it was just the two of them. And I like that exchange. I like that he knowingly is going to have to make a sacrifice. He's essentially making a sacrifice to bring that girl back.
Yeah.
Okay. And well,
you can see him working it out in his head. Like, there's nothing. There's. I don't have the skill or the ability to get myself out of this. There's nothing that I can do as this man.
Yeah.
And understanding, he worked it out better than anyone in the audience did. Like, we just worked it out talking about it because, he might have been a glorified like archaeologist.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, maybe that would be like another possible. And look, we all know what didn't end up like with
making the cut.
Like making the cut. Okay. Yeah. Now like maybe a better explanation or we're going to get a little bit of sound. Yeah. We all know if it's going to, like, sometimes when it the audio file renders out and publishes out, a lot of the ambient noise that the mics pick up, like, don't carry over. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter. Like, we're doing this at 3:00 in the afternoon, and Philly is kind of.
Oh, actually, it's 4.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah. We'll wrap this up real quick too. But no, and no one's out in Philly right now. Everyone's indoors because of the weather.
Well, people were out, but then when it started to rain, it was like cockroaches
everyone
opening.
came in. But yeah, and real quick, I think the other potential, like, fix, or not really fix, or like just what I don't think resonated is a exact definition of what he was doing with the army. Like, you knew he was military. You didn't know if he was like mercenary. You didn't know if there was like an outside agreement. And the way how he's in conflict with the girl who is hunting down antiquities and treasures to protect them from ISIS, which I thought was like another interesting angle. Like, so a lot of that didn't coagulate. Yeah. Okay, and you could have used
she used it as her cover, but they get real loose with that. We're like, she doesn't know that Russell Crowe is planning on doing what he's doing to him, that they're going to kill him. Yeah. And to prevent her from bringing him forward, and then you don't realize that she's part of this like secret society.
Yeah, and you don't know if the government is in cahoots with Pardiem, which is Russell Crowe's organization. Yeah, like, you don't know because she is with the military, she's not with the military. There's like some arrangement there. Yeah, and some of that could have been helpful. And just kind of knowing, like, maybe would have paid off a little bit at the end because you would have understood what the stakes were a little bit better. Like, yeah. And look, this is all like, who the hell knows? So that stuff could have been in the movie.
And they were like, you know what? We don't have enough to cut. We need to cut some.
It's just slowing it down. Yeah. And you're like, we gotta just get to this point. We have to get to this point as soon as we can. Yeah. And that's how you edit. Like, you want to know, like, what the points are and how we get there, and you don't want to cut things, but sometimes, like, you do. But yeah, so look, I'm happy we saw the movie. I'm happy we had a good time.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy you sat down to do another show. Big 40, dude. We're 40 episodes deep on this, man. Fist pump. I love it. And real quick too. So I just want to make a quick comment on the importance for people to leave comments, to subscribe, to interact with Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is umbrellaed through all of my social media accounts. It's very important for feedback and a like type of conversation and ideas for other shows. Like, anyone that has an idea, like, shoot it over. We're always looking for like angles and things to discuss. Anyone that might want to come on and be a guest is always welcomed. I really don't care. Yeah. Like, if I think you're into something and you're passionate, like, I want to sit down and talk to you. Like, I want to kind of like pick your brain. But it's very important. Right now, like, the biggest importance would be we need reviews on iTunes. Like, that's like the biggest thing. There's no reviews right now. But look, we knew there was going to be a long run of training wheels with this. Yeah. And Dream Warriors has found more of a voice now. And like it's getting a little bit more serious because there's a definition to what type of program this is.
Yeah.
And like you being involved, you, Mark, Norm, Heather, John, and there's about like 3 or 4 other people that are just like like slowly making their way to sit down with me. Like your perspectives are as important as anything, but we just need we just need some social interaction. It's gonna help the show grow. But hey, let's do this. Let's sign off. I think you and I just need to rest, right?
Yes.
Just need to rest and we need to rock and roll.
Yeah.
See you.